fair or going too far. Clark County is working to prevent DUIs when cannabis lounges finally open. What's stirring some debate are plans for a strict last call.
I want to make sure that no one's leaving out of the cannabis consumption lounge that I'm a part of, and I want to make sure they're getting back to their destination safe.
After winning a prospective license in the state's recent lottery, Rachel Lee's got big plans for her future lounge and plans to prevent DUIs, shuttles to transport customers in a small parking lot, encouraging people to stay off the roads. She's for a measure from Clark County that is stirring debate. Clark County wants a 2-hour last call for all cannabis lounges and a 24-hour no-tow policy.
Regardless if it's cannabis or alcohol, I think a lot of these casinos should put that into play as well, saying that instead of charging people for parking in these establishments, let's see how we can get you home safely.
The Nevada Cannabis Association, representing businesses, has concerns. In a letter to commissioners, argues lounges are being singled out, stating any no-tow policy should be implemented for all similar types of establishments where intoxicants are served, such as bars, taverns, and restaurants. There's never been a no-tow policy implemented for any other businesses in Clark County, arguing landlords may not want cars overnight. Customers' cars could be targeted by thieves, and security could be expensive. The association also wants a 30-minute last call, the state's minimum, stating if the concern is regarding products with a delayed onset, then the ordinance could be tailored to address edibles and infused foods. Customers are free to leave a lounge at any time. It's unclear how a 2-hour window would actually serve to mitigate risk.
I think it's legitimate, but the reality is we want to be super cautious. Driving impaired is a huge issue in Clark County.
But even cannabis advocate Commissioner Tick Seegerbloom backs the county's current plan.
It's something where we can always change it down the road, but you want to start out the most conservative as you can. As we get more experience and we learn how it works, hopefully we can make it equivalent to bars.
The Nevada Cannabis Association argues if there is a no-tow policy is in place, 12 hours is better than 24. There's a public hearing on this issue on December 20th.